The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
Introducing Secret 12, the new InfoWars Life vitamin B12 formulation. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin. Secret 12 is simply taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million-year-old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Yet our best trained, best educated, best equipped, best prepared troops refuse to fight. Matter of fact, it's safe to say that they would rather switch than fight.
The Alex Jones Show, because there is a war on for your mind.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we're going to have Steve Quayle joining us in the next hour, and he's going to talk about what he believes is going on with Jade Helm. We don't really know. We know there's an exercise going on. We know it's very large, extensive. We know that the government has been training with replicas of American cities, but we know that the government is also involved in many foreign wars. All of those things are a problem, aren't they? I mean, even if they were going to only use this to start a massive new Middle Eastern war, only if, wouldn't that still be a problem? Can't we have a discussion about the scope of our government? And of course, one of the things we should be concerned about is the war on drugs, which literally is a war. This is a story from The Nation that we have on Infowars.com. The U.S.'s war on drugs has spiraled dangerously out of control. You think? It's been this way for a long time. But here's the case that they make. They talk about people being beheaded by the hundreds. Heap headless, handless bodies along the roadsides as a warning to those who would resist their power. They have penetrated the local, state, and national governments and control entire sections of the country. They provide employment and services to an impoverished public which distrusts their actual government with its bitter record of corruption, repression, and torture. They seduce young people from several countries including the U.S., into their murderous activities. They say, are we talking about ISIS or ISIL or IS? No, they're talking about the Mexican drug cartels. A huge number of people killed there. I think the last time I saw it, I don't know what their count is here. Many people have different casualty counts, but it's certainly over 100,000 people have died in this war on drugs. This is a real war. This is a real war that could come to America. We need to be concerned about this. And we don't need to be concerned about it in the way that we erect some kind of a fortress on the border or that we turn ourselves into an armed police state. No, the armed police state is what is encouraging this kind of war. The U.S. war on drugs really is a war. It's a war on our freedom. It's a war on everything that our government has been based on. It's something we should all be very, very concerned about. And we need to be concerned about a government that will not tell us the truth, that will not be candid with us, that will say that everything is national security, or I'm not going to comply with this order or that one. Here's a good example. This is something for the Weekly Standard. Homeland Security head threatens to defy subpoenas. Now, these are subpoenas that are coming from Chairman Jason Chaffetz of the House Committee Oversight and Government Reform. They wanted to know about these Secret Service agents and the incidents that happened there where they had these drunken Secret Service agents hit the gate and everything. They were not shot, of course. I think maybe, you know, the lesson here is if you want to make sure that you're not going to get shot in Washington, dress up like a Secret Service agent. Look like the Men in Black. Don't wear a dress, okay? This is what happened to these two guys the other day, because we'd already seen that they shot the lady with a baby in the back without thinking twice about it. Similar situation, hitting the barrier. But they wanted to find out what's going on with the Secret Service. There's been some tremendous laxes in security. So they subpoenaed a couple of Secret Service agents, and these guys did not show up. Okay, Secret Service Director Clancy had gone back on a promise to make the two unarmed agents available to be interviewed by the Congressional Committee. So they sent subpoenas to Homeland Security. And within hours, get this, talk about not seeing the contradiction here. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson fired back a sharply worded statement denying the charges of uncooperativeness, along with a veiled threat to defy the subpoenas. So he's not going to, how dare you call me uncooperative, but he's not going to show up. They're not going to comply with these. But he's not uncooperative. This is the kind of just over-the-top lying that we see from officials all the time. This attitude that they are not responsible. This administration is not accountable. It can't be balanced by anyone or anything. They're going to do whatever they want. It doesn't matter what the Congress wants. It doesn't matter what the Constitution says. It doesn't matter what the laws are. They're going to do whatever they wish, and they're not going to be held accountable to anyone. I thought it was kind of interesting. Nico gave me this story from Gawker. They actually called some questions about Hillary Clinton's actions with this email situation, and they pointed out that she had sent an email, and here's the subject of the email. She sent it to Huma, and it was regarding Pakistan troops battle Taliban for U.S. drone debris. And then that was an email, and she returned that, and she said, I like the idea of these. How high are they? What would the bench be made of? And I'd prefer 2 shelves or attractive boxes, baskets, containers on one. What do you think? And she sent this back and she said, did you send this to me? In other words, here's a couple of different ways you can look at this. Either Hillary Clinton, and this is the take of Gawker, their take on it was she's not able to keep these accounts separate. She's got supposedly personal accounts, and she's got State Department accounts. If she could send back a personal reply saying, this is what I would like for my furnishings, to somebody who had just sent her an email about Pakistan troops battling the Taliban for U.S. drone debris. If she could send something back that is a personal thing about, yeah, let's buy that table. Maybe if somebody is asking her about the table, she might send back some classified information of that person about what's going on with the Taliban. Of course, maybe she really was sending her code. You know, maybe that, you know, get that box and the extra lamp. Maybe that was something about, you know, ship some clandestine nukes over there. I don't know. It's Hillary Clinton. Anything could happen with Hillary Clinton. Now, we want to go to, we're going to have the video that Paul Watson put out, because as we're talking about Jade Helm, and I don't know really what Steve Quayle's take is on this. And one of the things that's come out from a lot of military people is that this may be preparation for a war in the Middle East. So let's take a look at this video that Paul Watson's got. He lays out the possibility that maybe what they're doing is planning to attack Iran and Syria.
The Jade Helm military exercise, set to take place in 9 US states this summer, has prompted concerns about preparations for martial law in America. But could the real purpose behind the drill be centered around a mock invasion of Iran and Syria and a huge Middle Eastern war? As we've exhaustively documented, these drills are clearly dual purpose, and there are plans in place to use the army in a law enforcement capacity to intern Americans during mass domestic unrest. But as Sputnik News documents today, Jade Helm seems to be geared around a much more sinister project, namely, quote, a preparation for an invasion of Iran and a Middle East-wide war. Look at this map. You'll recognize it as being from the Jade Helm exercise documents, but it's been amended slightly. The image is rotated to represent the approximate position of countries within the Middle East. So instead of Texas, Utah, and a pocket of California being represented as hostile states, the rogue nations become Iran, Syria, and Palestine, with Iraq, currently under siege by ISIS, leaning hostile. Israel, Lebanon, and Turkey in blue are friendly states. The US states are also comparable in some ways to the Middle Eastern countries they represent. New Mexico has vast swathes of desert like Iraq. Utah has both mountains and flatlands like Syria. California generally has a more gentle Mediterranean climate like Israel. Then look at the different operations that will be undertaken during Jade Helm, and the implications are alarming. In Utah, the equivalent of Syria, there will be a huge mock battle located here, with the enemy being the army of a simulated country. Apply this to the Middle East, and we're talking about the Syrian army, allies, of course, with Iran. Also during Jade Helm, 2 unidentified operational detachment groups will also be dispatched to the capital here, simulating a covert operation in Damascus, Syria. Being a permissive blue state, Colorado, or Turkey, would allow NATO and US forces to move through the area unimpeded. California, or Israel, is also listed as a permissive blue state. No deployments of troops are planned to California during Jade Helm, just as no US troops would need to enter Israel during an invasion of Iran and Syria. The insurgent pocket shown on the Jade Helm map probably represents the West Bank and the coastal Gaza Strip, although it could also represent Hezbollah forces in Lebanon who would oppose a US invasion of Iran. Arizona, or Jordan, will be the site of the Special Forces Operational Detachment Headquarters, ODH, and a Marine Corps site during Operation Jade Helm, simulating Jordan's capital, Amman. And of course, the primary focus of Operation Jade Helm will of course be Texas. At least 17 Texan cities involved in the exercise, which of course tells us that the mock invasion of Iran is the centerpiece and the focus of this drill. So as you can see, the location, terrain, and operational activities that characterize Jade Helm can all be transposed onto a simulated invasion of the Middle East. As 4-star General Wesley Clark revealed, after 9/11, the Pentagon rubber-stamped a plan to invade the entire Middle East, country by country.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me, and one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second. I said, well, you're too busy. He said, no. He says, we've made the decision. We're going to war with